Right now, the maximum sustained winds, 65, make that 70 miles per hour as of the 2 a.m. Eastern update. The recon plane has been flying through this thing here tonight, and more flights are scheduled, obviously, on Wednesday. They'll be checking this thing out firsthand. 15-1 north, 74.4 west, if you're keeping track on a hurricane tracking chart, for example. That places the center 250 miles southeast of Jamaica, and it is moving toward the west briskly at 25 miles per hour, which will bring it closer to Jamaica, which is why the government of Jamaica has issued a tropical storm warning. Grand Cayman also tropical storm warning, and for the rest of the Cayman Islands, a tropical storm watch is now in effect. That means now is the time to make preparations in the event of flooding or mudslides here in Jamaica. Wind probably is not going to be an issue here. Probably won't be strong enough to down anything more than some small branches off of trees. But we'll keep an eye on it for you. Notice the outflow pattern. This is the core of the tropical storm right now. Notice the clouds fanning out from this, and notice how they are oriented in a rather north-south direction, rather than fanning out equally in all directions. If we were to see this over here and over there and in the eastern quadrant, we might say, holy simoleons, this is going to be a hurricane by sunrise. We do not see that. There is an upper level spin in the atmosphere right here, and that is serving to some degree limit the potential for growth, intensity of growth of this thing as it moves toward the west. We believe that that westward track will continue, that the tropical storm, the core of it, will remain south of Jamaica, which is right here, and south of Cuba. As we head out through time, through Wednesday and Thursday, notice how this cone broadens. Of course, this is a cone of uncertainty. The further out you go with a forecast, whether it's here or in the tropics, the less assured you are. But generally, a west to west-northwest track is what's expected. That would keep it in the Caribbean for the next couple of days. It could strengthen, could be a hurricane by the time it may make landfall or get close to the Yucatan or Belize. So there, if you're watching from the satellite, you guys be prepared for the potential for some flooding rains. It's still a couple of days away from you. Will it get into the Gulf of Mexico? That still remains to be seen. But if you have plans here this weekend, you don't want to turn your back on Tropical Storm Claudette. Right now here in the Gulf, all is quiet. So make your plans, but also know what to do just in case you have to bail out. And here along the East Coast, just a couple of thunderstorms off of Albemarle Sound right now. And off the West Coast, the Pacific is showing all quiet. No tropical storms, no tropical depressions, and some fair weather here in the island chain of Hawaii. That's your tropical update, my friends. Keep an eye on Claudette. And also keep an eye on these storms near a
forecast. On Friday, we'll have temperatures in the mid-80s with scattered thunderstorms. Expect fair skies on Saturday and Sunday.
Let's get you situated on our tropical storm Claudette here in the Caribbean. Winds are at 70 miles per hour. It is moving west at 25 miles per hour, which is a pretty good clip for a tropical storm. Pressure at 1,004 millibars. Now, the hurricane hunters were in there early this morning and found the pressure did go up to 1,004 millibars, but the winds are still very strong at 70 miles per hour, so a strong tropical storm. And the center is right now 200 miles south-southeast of Kingston, Jamaica. And we do have tropical storm warnings up, and I'll show you where in just a moment. Let's look at the satellite picture. And to give you perspective, Haiti is right here, Dominican Republic. Here is Jamaica. And here's our tropical storm right here. And as you notice, to the western side of it, we're getting sheared by southwesterly winds. It's like a wall right here. And those clouds going almost straight up. Now that is what's keeping it probably from becoming a hurricane, but it's possible over the next 24 hours that shear will weaken and we could see our first hurricane of this tropical season. So heads up, everybody. Again, in Jamaica and Cayman Islands, both under tropical storm warnings. We're adjusting this map here. So both areas under tropical storm warnings. The projected path does take it on a westerly track, west-northwest track, getting close to Cozumel, or, you know, the whole Yucatan Peninsula. Everybody here should be paying attention to the weather, as well as the Gulf of Mexico towards the weekend into the early part of next week. We're giving you a heads up. Keep an eye on this. All interest here in the Caribbean and in the Gulf of Mexico. Besides our tropical storm Claudette, it is somewhat quiet here in the eastern Atlantic. Quiet now in the Gulf of Mexico. Eastern Pacific, again, another area that's quiet. Bill?
And Kim joining us now, Marshall Cease of Your Weather Today. So Marshall, can you believe this 8-day run of storms across the Midwest?
Bill, hardly any of us can believe that. It looks like a 9th day is setting up today. We'll track the latest round of storms and we'll see if the setup stays in place for more stormy weather tomorrow. And Alexandra Steele will keep you ahead of the storms for your morning commute. Now, Bill takes a look at the impact all this year's rough weather is having on the nation's pocketbook.
That's right, Marshall. Congress now faced with paying for a wide range of weather-related disasters. A Bloomberg Money Barometer looks at the inflated price tag.
Good morning. President Bush is asking Congress for $1.9 billion in emergency spending to recover from weather-related disasters. The money would also be used to fight brush fires and to pay for the investigation of the Space Shuttle Columbia disaster. About $1.6 billion is needed to replenish a disaster relief fund that could be exhausted by the end of this month because of recent extreme weather. In May, a record 562 tornadoes hit the United States, and there could be more storms ahead. The Office of Management and Budget said forecasters are predicting as many as 15 tropical storms this season. If you recall, the most recent weather event to hit the United States was Tropical Storm Bill, which struck Louisiana on June 29th. Bill left thousands without power and forced the closure of the Louisiana offshore oil port. That port is the biggest crude oil import terminal in the United States. For the Weather Channel, I'm Linda Bell with the Bloomberg Money Barometer.
And let's talk about the weekend. Looks like a good one for the Northeast. Finally looking at some sunshine in New York City, Boston, and Washington, D.C. Good day to be heading to the Jersey Shore, maybe to Wildwood. Have a good time. In the Southeast, scattered thunderstorms continue on Saturday and Sunday. We've got a ball game planned. There could be some delays because of these storms around Little Rock.
And Dennis joining us now, watching trouble unfolding yet again for the umpteenth day in the heartland.
That's right. Looks like more thunderstorms in that neck of the woods, and some of that will be tracking on eastward into the northeast. In fact, it starts off steamy, ends stormy in New York City for the drive home. Philadelphia, stormy day, and those storms also developing in the Washington, D.C. area. We'll keep you right on top of the situation.
And we'll be back tomorrow at 5 a.m. That's it for First Outlook.
And stay tuned now for your local on the 8s. And again, your weather today coming right up.
What's up with them?
Must be super stackers down at IHOP.
Right now at IHOP, it's a real tall order. It's our all-new Super Stackers. Savory steak, chicken and bacon, or sliced turkey. Hot off the grill on a Romano Parmesan roll. Come on in and enjoy a Super Stacker. It's one great bite on top of another. IHOP. Come hungry, leave happy.
Try new Super Stackers at IHOP. Come hungry, leave happy.
And so when I get home, I'm just so drained from being with the kids. And when I lost probably a total of 45 pounds.
Stacker 2, the world's strongest fat burner.
On Friday, we'll have temperatures in the mid-80s with scattered thunderstorms. Expect fair skies on Saturday and Sunday.
It's time now for your tropical update here in the Weather Channel. I'm meteorologist Rich Johnson. We're watching a tropical storm in the Caribbean, Tropical Storm Claudette. Here's the latest information on Claudette. It was about this time, or let's say a little bit after this time yesterday, that it was upgraded to tropical storm status due to what the reconnaissance aircraft found. The 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Advisory was centered near 15.5 north, 77.6 west. That's about 175 south-southwest of Kingston, Jamaica. Top sustained winds a little bit under hurricane strength. Of course, you need 74, always rounded off to 75. You need that to be a hurricane. It's moving off to the west rapidly, 24 miles per hour. This actually is a little bit slower than yesterday. I think yesterday we had some of the motion as fast as moving westerly near 30, so it's just a touch slower. Pressure continues to drop, 1,001 millibars. That's not that low, although the past couple of hours, or I should say the few hours in between the reconnaissance aircraft reports, pressure has been dropping off some. We do have the warnings and watches out. Grand Cayman, also Jamaica, under tropical storm warnings. Tropical storm watch out for Cayman Brac as well as Little Cayman. Farther to the west over toward Cabo Catoche all the way down to Chetumal. That's Mexico. Hurricane watches are in effect for the possibility that this system will strengthen into hurricane status. What else is happening out there? Not too much. We had a wave east of the islands, but this is the main feature that we're studying. Here's our tropical storm. This feature here, this tropical cyclone, has undergone a little bit of phase here, meaning that watch the burst here a couple hours ago. A lot of deep reds. That's usually associated with some strengthening. It is not unusual at all to see these fluctuations with the tropical storm where it'll try to gain a little strength and drop off. It dropped off a little bit from the last advisory, then the next hour or two it looks like it's strengthened some, and now that may have already peaked out. The main thing that we're watching here is how this tropical storm is fighting off the wind shear. The wind shear to the west associated with a big trough of low pressure. Wind shear, that's simply all you have as you increase in the height of the atmosphere, differing wind speeds or just different areas. Wind, this case, many cases to the west compared to the storm, differing wind speeds which can rip away the clouds and destroy the circulation. Circulation right here, it's really on the edge of this, what we call the CDO or central dense overcast. And for a tropical system to really develop, you have to see these heavy showers and storms right over the center. The wind shear has been successful at weakening the tropical storm slightly here, but still off to the northern side, which will mostly affect Jamaica. The stronger part will affect Jamaica. Heavy rains and the gusty winds. So we're just watching to see how this is fighting this trough. Water vapor imagery past 24 hours, center circulation right in through here. What we're watching is this trough. You can see the circulation right in through here, and it looked like what had happened was there was a little maximum of wind speeds coming right up at it out of the south, and that's what pushed these clouds near that center circulation farther to the north. So that's why we've seen a slight weakening. The forecast does continue for it to make its way off to the northwest. So we think up toward the Yucatan Peninsula could be affected by this tropical storm. Beyond that, it may affect areas in the Gulf of Mexico. Right now, the western Gulf is more likely than any other areas. But once you get out that many days, of course, the certainty of the forecast does go down. Back over to Mexico, we're also watching a cluster here. It's a little ways off to the coast of Mexico. It's possible with that cluster there we could see development in another day or two, probably moving away from Mexico. Here in the States, another round of severe weather over toward the Midwest, also back to the Mid-Atlantic. Indianapolis in the watch, Chicago barely out of the watch, although there's some storms headed your way. The second watch includes D.C. and Baltimore. Again, right now the watch, there are some warnings with this line of storms as they approach Chicago. Most of the storms that are more active are south of Chicago.
This program was brought to you by AirServe. Let AirServe put you...
forecast for your area. On Friday, we'll have temperatures in the low 80s with scattered thunderstorms. Expect fair skies on Saturday and Sunday.
Thanks for joining us for the Tropical Update. I'm Christina Abernathy, and indeed we are watching a tropical storm, Claudette. Let's take a look at the latest. It is now centered at 16 north, 79.7 west. That puts the center about 235 miles southwest of Kingston, Jamaica. The wind's 65 miles per hour, and it's moving west quickly at 24 miles per hour. And we're joined now by our hurricane expert, Dr. Steve Lyons. And Dr. Steve, what's the latest?
Well, Christina, continues to move quickly. That's the good news. So as it passes islands, it's only going to be about a 12-hour event. It's already by Jamaica, so we're in good shape there. Let me show you the latest satellite image on the large scale. It's been a battle between an upper-level low-pressure system. You can see that upper-level low I've drawn here. That's up at about 30,000 feet or higher. And our tropical storm here and the thunderstorms associated with it. The thunderstorms have been trying to build high pressure there, which the system likes to develop, and this has been trying to keep it from developing. And right now it's been pretty much in check the last 12 to 24 hours. But we'll see what happens the next 12 to 24 hours because there are some signs that it could become a little more favorable for development. Currently we have tropical storm warnings up for Jamaica. We don't see those winds there tonight, but some heavy rain is likely. Grand Cayman Island warning, watch up for the Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, and then a tropical storm warning up also for the northern portions of the Yucatan Peninsula, and also a hurricane watch up here. That's just in case the system, as it moves toward the west quickly, becomes a hurricane before it hits the coast there. Now we look a little bit closer and you can see, first of all, look at this band out ahead of it here, spreading out away from the center. That's typically not associated with significant development of the system. Low pressure center over here. Winds in Jamaica are only about 15 miles per hour, maybe gusting to 25 in showers. Some of the heavier showers are extending up over Cuba. That'll make it windy in the Florida Straits over the next 24 to 36 hours as well. But right now the center is pretty far south and moving quickly toward the Yucatan. So that's where we think the action is going to be the next 24 to 36 hours as it races off toward the west. But it's going to slow down as it gets over here. Steering current's a little weaker. It's slow down, take a little more west-northwest and then northwest track. Depending on how strong it is and how long it lasts over the Yucatan Peninsula will be determining how strong it is when it gets into the Gulf of Mexico sometime Friday night and into Saturday morning. Right now it's a little too early to tell what the status will be in the Gulf of Mexico, but we think it'll be probably a tropical storm by that time. The remainder of the Atlantic tonight, very quiet, some showers moving into the southern islands, and a tropical wave coming off the African coast, neither showing any signs of development tonight. The Eastern Pacific, we're monitoring one cluster of showers associated with a low pressure area right here. The good news here is right now that is drifting slowly to the west-northwest away from the coast, so we're in good shape. Let's get back to the studio now with Christina.
All right, thanks a lot, Dr. Lyons. We're going to give you a quick update on severe weather that's occurring right now. You can see all of the severe thunderstorm and tornado watches that are in effect. We also have a number of tornado warnings that are in effect. The latest one out of Iowa, central Hamilton County. At 5:48 local time, spotters reported a tornado 4 miles northeast of Camar, or about 27 miles east of Fort Dodge, moving east at 35 miles per hour. The storm will be 5 miles south of Williams around 6 p.m. Take cover immediately here. We also have a tornado warning in Illinois. That's in Piatt County. We have another tornado warning in effect in Illinois. That's in Champaign County. So take cover immediately if you live in these areas. And there are more tornado warnings in Minnesota, Nicollet, Brown, and Blue Earth counties. Law enforcement officials did report a tornado just south of Cortland. And we also have Candy, Ohio, and Renville counties under tornado warnings.
Let's say this is your car. Nice hardtop. If you drive safely, meaning you do stuff like obey the speed limit, always check your blind spot, and avoid accidents, hey, watch it, Leadfoot, then Allstate could reward you with something you'll eat right up. Some green. Up to 20% off your insurance bill. It's the Allstate Safe Driver Discount. Call today and find out how you're in good hands with Allstate. Hey, this is for the safe driver. Here you go.
To find an agent near you, contact 1-800-ALLSTATE or visit our website at allstate.com.
Look what Pizza Hut's got for you now.
Here's your pizza with Mr. Mom and starring Michael Keaton and
Martin Mull.
Martin Mull. You know, he was so weird.
Legend.
Every one of his body functions is enhanced.
Jake 2.0. This is